My name is David Silverstein. I'm with American Home Contractors. I'm one of the brand managers over here, and we're going to be reacting to some posts online from user comments.
Then solar makes sense. For most solar customers who don't need a new roof, solar panels make more sense financially.
So yeah, it's not going to be economically feasible to replace your roof if it's a very young roof. If it's only a few years old, then yes, in a lot of situations it would make more sense to install solar panels over top of that roof. However, you have to look long term. If your roof is 5, 10 years or older, then you probably want to replace the roof with a solar integrated product so that everything's together and it can age together as well. Because if your roof is 10 years old or older, then you're going to have to replace that roof before those panels need to be replaced, right? If the panels are supposed to last at least 25 years, most likely your roof's going to have to be replaced. So you're going to have to take all the solar panels off of the roof, replace the roof, and then reinstall the solar panels. And at that point, the solar panels are probably going to be 10, 15, 20 years old. So are you really going to want to go back with that 10, 15, 20-year-old technology? Or are you going to want to put something new on top of that roof? Or are you going to want to just get a solar roof at that point in time? And what do you do with the panels that are 10, 15, 20 years old at that point? So it really comes down to how old is the roof. And, I think if it's 10 years or older, I would definitely recommend replacing your roof with a solar roof, as an option. If it's 5 years or younger, then I definitely think it makes economical sense to consider solar panels over top of that roof.
I bought into the promise of Tesla Solar in December 2020. My install was completed December 2021. I had 18 months of design constrained production, and then goes into the details. I've had 7 replacements since the first failure July 2023. Time between contacting Tesla about an issue and repair has been 8 to 18 weeks. I'm sure there are success stories, but there's also a huge failure, and I measure a company about how they do when something goes wrong. Which is basically something like customer service.
So yeah, customer service is always a struggle in a service industry. Um, you know, and I do agree with, you shouldn't, it's very difficult for everything to go perfect on any given install. A company should be judged at how they handle issues in the future and serviceability. And unfortunately, it sounds like this particular user had an issue with either Tesla directly or a certified installer with communication and, not the best customer service in this user's viewpoint. Something we strive hard at American Home Contractors. We've had people go out the next day if there ever is an issue or a question or a concern. And a lot of times, these questions or concerns weren't even related to the work we did. It was either something faulty from the utility company or another contractor, or a leak coming in from the siding or for somebody else that was on the roof after we left the job. So, but we do care a lot about customer service, and we want to make sure that everybody who does decide to do business with us is taken care of very quickly. We know how it is to be an early adopter with new technology, and we just want to make sure it's performing as good as possible for everybody. And I hope that everybody embraces that in the Tesla ecosystem and with this new technology. Please make sure that you're able to boost up your service department to handle these needs for people that have questions and concerns. We try to do as much education and videos online as possible. So if it is something simple, we can just navigate somebody to a video. If it's troubleshooting how to use an app or what they're looking at in their system, communication issues, that type of thing. Maybe even resetting the solar system with the inverters, turning things on and off. It's like a computer or anything else that's electronic. Sometimes just unplugging it and plugging it back in resets everything and it's up back to normal. So we try to navigate people through education and video content to help with these service requests. But yeah, if it does require somebody to go out on site, then making sure you have the resources available to get out there as soon as possible is definitely something that's very important. So yeah, sorry to hear about this particular using having issues and frustration. So when we work with our manufacturers, we're the first line of defense if there ever is a service issue. So reach out to us first and foremost, and if we have to get the manufacturer involved, whether it's Tesla or another partner of ours, then we'll work hand in glove with them to make sure that everything is handled appropriately, the communication is top notch, and we seek a resolution as soon as possible. So, yeah, reach out to the certified installer, your installer first and foremost, and let them handle the back end accordingly.
So this guy says, I was quoted over 300K for solar roof, while standing seam metal plus solar panels is just under 200K. I'm not ever going to make up 100K by getting the solar roof.
Well, he's not factoring in the tax credits for one. Two, he's not taking into consideration the savings on electricity over time. You know, the cost of electricity has only gone up over the years. And then the energy savings over time. So that, the Tesla solar roof is warranted for 25 years. And that's just the warranty. The lifespan should be much longer than that. So it's not like after 25 years, your system stops producing. It still has production left in it. It still has weatherization left in it as a roofing system. So, over the course of time, electricity has gone up. And, we don't have a crystal ball, but there's a lot of speculation that the price of electricity will double or triple in the not too distant future. So places that are, paying 10 cents a kilowatt hour, which is pretty cheap, could be paying 20 to 30 cents a kilowatt hour in the not too distant future. And then the economics really make a lot of sense to go solar, start becoming your own utility company, your own provider of electricity, because over time, you're going to be paying that utility company a ton of money over the course of 25 years. And that's just the forecast early on about our electricity needs, with electrifying everything from vehicles to stoves to hot water heaters to, HVAC units. Everything is going to be electrified. And, not to mention artificial intelligence and data centers, we're going to be using a lot more electricity in the near future. And over the course of time, if utility rates double or triple in the short term, they're probably still going to go up after that incrementally. And we build in a modest 3 to 4% escalator on most of our financial analyses when we go through and do the math on the return on investment. And that's pretty conservative, I would say. Some utility companies nearby introduced a double-digit rate increase this year. So electricity prices are going up, and it's really difficult to know what's going to happen in the future. But if you're looking at just $100,000 delta between a high-end roof and then going with the Tesla solar roof, again, factor in the tax credits, factor in the cost savings on being your own utility company, producing your own electricity, locking in that rate today, and compare that over time to what the potential rate increases will be. And I think it'll make a lot of sense, especially when you're talking those premium roofing products, comparing them with one another.
So this guy says, as an agent that has sold a lot of homes with solar, let me give you a bit of advice. No, I own a Tesla and would love to power my house with the sun. The cost is insane and makes no financial sense. I think that part you kind of already seen too. I've listed homes with solar, and that home was supposed to be there forever home. But guess what? Life happens and you need to sell. 225,000 houses with 100,000 solar panel system. And no battery storage, nobody cares about it. In fact, the solar panels have hurt the sale of it. The panels were installed 18 months ago, and that's my extreme example.
So I don't know I'm assuming this is a system that's owned outright and not leased, because if you buy a house and there's a lease attached to solar panels or anything to that house, it could be a deterrent from buying that home if you don't want the solar panels and you don't want to pay the lease. But if those solar panels or that solar roof is paid off free and clear, then yes, it should add value to the home because that home comes with its own utility company attached to it. You're buying not only a house, but you're buying a utility operation that's producing clean electricity for the home to consume, and couple that with batteries, then you're buying energy independence when you buy that home. I think it really comes down to awareness and understanding what you're purchasing. So if somebody says, I don't want solar, I don't want the panels up on my roof, I don't want any of that. Well, I think it just comes down to education. And again, if it's a lease situation, yeah, assuming a lease and a monthly payment for solar panels, if you didn't want to get them in the first place, would be tough to swallow. But if it's free and clear and it just comes with the house, why wouldn't that home be worth more than a house next door to it that doesn't have solar panels on it? You got one that's producing electricity, its own utility company, and you have the other one that's fully dependent on the utility company and the grid system. Of course, the one with the built-in utility company is going to be worth more if you think through it logically.